the way we start off when we evaluate someone, basically, the history and physical exam, every doctor should be doing it the same way. I think these days doctors have shortened it because it's hard to spend time with patients. You're seeing 40 patients a day. But through the history and physical, you determine what's bothering the patients. So the difference is, those doctors, mainstream, they just do a complete blood count, CBC, a chem panel. They'll probably check for cholesterol, maybe a thyroid, and that's it. They're not going to find the other problems that you may have because they're not looking for it, because the other problems aren't solved with the drug. So we do inflammatory markers, infectious disease markers, and probably one of the most important tests is checking fasting insulin levels and seeing just how your body is handling sugar, because that's a big issue. And if you have elevated insulin levels, you want to work on lowering it down. So this empowers the patient to take better care of themselves, if you're interested. But because the doctors can't, they can change a number with a drug. I could do the same thing for you. Let's say you were overweight, and I said, well, step on my scale. The scale is going to give you a normal weight. I've adjusted it so you have a normal weight. You wouldn't accept it, right? You'd laugh at that. But you accept the drugs. It's just, they're manipulating a number with a drug, but not really making you better. They say, take this drug, we're going to lower your blood pressure. But we haven't addressed why the blood pressure was high. Maybe the magnesium level is low. Maybe you're under stress. Maybe your insulin levels are high. I mean, those are the things, the underlying reasons for high blood pressure that never get looked at. So, I hope that you enjoyed this lecture. I don't know if you have any questions, or if you'd like me to find Janet and if you have any questions for her. Yes.
Janet mentioned the memory support IV. What's in that IV, sir?
I have to ask Janet.
Okay. And your PSA patient that you've been following since he's been taking the CUL treatment, has he received another treatment, and has the PSA been tested? Okay,
well, I had mentioned that his PSA went from 76 down to, 77 down to 46. I was told that his last test, it went up again. But he also says he's been under a lot of stress. He does, and he's not doing anything else to really help himself except the ultraviolet treatments. So I think he's going to continue with them, and then we're waiting for his infectious disease panel to come back to see what his body is offering. But we had another patient with the UVLRX with intermittent claudication, which means he had poor circulation in his legs. And because of that, he would only walk for 3 minutes before he'd have to stop because of the pain. And now he's walking over 20 minutes without pain. So it does do a few things. We have patients with Lyme disease, multiple sclerosis, a whole different array of problems, breast cancer. Janet, we're finishing up, so maybe people have questions for you as well. George had a question for you.
Janet, in reference to the IV that you suggested for there was some memory support IV. What's in this case?
Okay, right off the top of my head. I have to go to my computer, and I have all of the ingredients in there. And right off the top of my head, I don't know. But when will you be here in the office again? Because I can.
I'll see you again.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
What we're planning to do also is we'll have a website posting all these different IVs with the ingredients, and we're putting that together right now. Yes.
Any of those tests are covered for the insurance?
Most of the blood work is covered by insurance. The UVLRX treatment isn't. OnDemand covered by Medicare, but not regular insurance. The integrated genetic solutions, the blood test component of that is covered by insurance, but the computerized interpretation is not covered.
This machine is covered by Medicare?
Medicare, yeah, this one, yeah.
I have Medicare.
That heart rate variability test is covered by
Heart
insurance.
rate variability, I didn't mention that one, let me, heart rate variability is another important test. Again, this is energy medicine, looking at your autonomic nervous system, because that's the first thing to go wrong. Well, let's say problems will turn up in abnormalities in your autonomic nervous system before they turn up in any other test. So here's sort of a printout
Can you see?
of what it does. So if you, so this part is measuring the energy in your autonomic nervous system. So you can see that it's high enough, it's hit the bars at the top. Now we had a patient once, and we knew she was sick. She had pancreatic cancer. And her bars were all right at the baseline, right at the bottom. And she died the day after. So this is really a good indicator of someone who's sick. Now, if you look at this area, this is saying physical stress, mental stress, and stress resistance. She had a lot of physical stress off the chart and no stress resistance. And then the last part of the test is looking at the health of your blood vessels, and they're divided up into 7 categories, 1 through 7. 1 and 2 considered to be normal because blood flow isn't being blocked, but then you have 3 through 7 where you can see the beginnings of plaque. So this test is covered by insurance.
What's the name of this one?
It's called the max pulse, but it measures heart rate variability. So the purpose of this is you can be normal on all the other tests, and this might pick up an area where you want to address.
Did you say you were going to offer a discount for people who bought the complete wellness?
Yeah, we have a special for the people that came today. And now, normally the cell well-being test is $150. And because, you know, the people that showed up today, I'm going to lower it to $125 and include, for the same price, the Zytoscan, the heart rate variability, and the Inbody test. The Inbody test, I'll show you this one because we didn't talk about that either. It measures your bioimpedance. And let's see what this shows in there.
So if you start.
All right, this is what the report looks like. Rather than keep you here for, I think it's almost 10 minutes, so it starts off with just a regular weight. Okay, so I mean, you don't need me to measure your weight, you do that at home. But what this does is tells you how that weight is broken up. How much is water, how much is fat, how much is muscle. And most importantly, is there too much fat around your organs? Because that's important to know as well. So you get all that information from this test. And the reason I do these tests is because I don't have a drug to give you to fix this. But maybe the information will motivate you to make some changes, you know, cut back on the carbs. That's the biggest change that we could all benefit from. So it's the cell well-being, the max pulse, the Inbody, and the Zytoscan. So normally the cell well-being is $150 by itself, so today I'm just charging $125, but for all of them. Yes.
I took literally all the other tests just recently, and I just take the max pulse.
You had the other ones you paid for? Okay,
2 weeks ago.
so I won't charge you for the max pulse.
I did the the air test.
The
Well,
cell welding,
yeah, I did that.
but when you had it done, it was free, right?
No, I got the, was through the radio.
You had it done here, right?
Yes,
Yeah, she had it done
You
here.
paid
We
for
had
it?
a special.
Yeah, I paid.
Okay, then we'll give you the other scans if you haven't had that.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I don't remember each particular one. Do any of them involve needles?
Actually, the test I just mentioned, no, none of them involve needles.
Nothing hurts. None of them hurt.
That's a fair question.
I have a question.
Yes.
With the Wi-Fi and the smart meters and everything else, because I find that I can't sleep as well as I used to. And I'm trying to figure out, would any of these tests be good for that? To find out if something is interrupting.
The max pulse with regard to the parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system.
And the cell welding as well is going to give you the impact on your body of all these extraneous electromagnetic frequencies.
Yeah, they're showing it to me.
So you gotta shut off the power in your bedroom.
Yes, right out, I sleep like, it's
Right
on
next
the
to
other
the
side
smart
of the
meter?
wall.
Right next to the smart meter?
Yeah.
You
You
can,
can have it changed out.
Yeah, my
They-
husband works for FPNL, so
what does he say?
he says it's staying.
He says it's staying?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, no.
If I
Yeah,
walk next
because
to
if
a
we're-
meter, if I go next to a smart meter, I can't walk straight. I walk in a zigzag formation, even if I want to.
It's very interesting because I met a gentleman who told me he works for the Department of Defense. And he said radiation in Florida, and particularly South Florida, is at an all-time high. And he said the Turkey Point nuclear station is leaking, the one in Stewart is leaking, the cell phone towers, and the smart meters. So those were just the ones that, that he mentioned that are contributing to the radiation effect. And then if we're using a cordless phone, and it doesn't have to be a cell phone, just a cordless phone at home, you are exposing yourself to all types of radiation.
What's a smart meter?
We all
A
have them.
smart meter is a meter that has been put, replacing the typical FPNL meters on the outside of your house to measure your electricity usage. And the smart meter is able to communicate with houses in the vicinity, and it does it with electromagnetic radiation. And so it penetrates walls, and some people are extremely sensitive to the radiation that it's putting out. And what's very interesting is very often the meters are in an area, outside wall area of our homes that's near the bedrooms. And so that radiation, you're sleeping, you're there 7 to 8 hours, and you're exposed to that radiation. And it's interesting that your husband says that the meter is staying
Well, it doesn't
because
affect
if
him, so he thinks it's all in my head, actually. So.
well, it's
Well, that's
interesting.
what he said.
Suppose word got out that an FP&L employee changed out their smart meter.
Exactly. Can't do that.
No, but
But
over
and
and
they move it from behind the bedroom, they move it to like
I'm
next to
sure
the garage or
they
something?
could move it, yeah, but
You can have it
it's
replaced,
it penetrates walls.
Yeah, oh, I know that. I am so obsessed
Sensitive.
with this thing because I feel so bad all the time. If I go to some people's house and the house is small, I can't stay there.
Well, the Wi-Fi also, everybody has Wi-Fi
Yes.
also, so that's
And it's not just that, it's there's so many things that make your environment toxic.
Right.
The AC adapters, I bought a meter to measure where this thing is coming from. Your AC adapter puts out so much radiation in your house. And I had a few of them in my bedroom. I took everything out. And I feel much better now. I'm sleeping much better.
Okay.
My neighbor has a cordless one behind my wall. I get such a headache in the morning. I have to move the whole bedroom to the other side. So I'm not too close to it and she won't let me measure it. She
What do
said
you think
no.
about the salt lamps in your bedroom?
I got two of those.
I have a few of those too.
Yeah, yeah,
How about two of those
We
also?
do what we can, and that's why I say, you know, your internal chemistry is so important, because that's something that you do have control over and you can manage, so that you're not so vulnerable to these assaults.
So this is a way to pick up electromagnetic frequencies. So this is just background, you need a background noise. Because periodically it'll pulse out something.
So, are you making a call now?
No, not even
Okay,
making a call.
not making a call, okay, so
I'll make
Make
a
the
now
call,
make
it's gonna
a
be
call.
worse. Call me.
And then when the call
They're
connects,
calling me, I don't have it on buzz.
But I haven't started, it says calling, I haven't started counting. There you go, now you're making a connection.
oh Lord, so imagine you're in the airplane
So let's see,
and
it's this
everybody
far
pulls
away,
out
so
their
it's definitely
phones.
going through your brain.
What if you turn
Yeah,
off the
I'm gonna shut it
phone?
off now. We'll shut it off, so it's much lower. Then I'll show you one other thing. This is a,
I have this one.
this one you have?
Yes.
So this is what you gotta get, and I'll show you.
Oh, he told
Probably
me
has-
to bring one home for me, so
Right.
I can.
So, so here's the background, this is on magnetic radiation, it's on 3. Let's see. You see it? Did you see the needle jump? Then you can see it go down. Let's see. So these are LED lights. Just curious to see if they give off anything. Yeah, you can see the needle going up too, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we're doomed,
Yeah, we're all doing
more or less.
I couldn't even send my cell phone. And my cell phone is only talking text. I don't have web, I don't have Wi-Fi on it, nothing. And I couldn't even send it just for that.
Remember there was a movie with Julia Roberts and Mel Gibson? Remember that? And he was
Yes.
a little crazy guy, and where he lived, he put aluminum foil all inside to shield himself from these extraneous rays. That's what you
Yeah.
need to do.
So
Yeah,
oh,
but try looking up where you can go. There's only
helps.
two
Oh,
places.
tremendously, made a big difference for me.
Okay.
You know, maybe there's a market there for a sleeping bag that's shielded.
There is one.
They have one?
Now, the cell well-being tells you how much EMFs you have and where they're coming from. The cell well-being test where they take the 4 strands tells you about your EMFs and how much you have and where are they coming from. So that's a
Wherever they
great
come
test
from,
for that.
I can't wait not to feel this anymore. Because when I go on an airplane, I feel like I'm dying.
Okay, now, my view of that is to prepare with antioxidants, so dramatically boost your antioxidant status so
yes, I
you're
am.
protected.
I found this detox on natural news. They were advertising on natural news. I bought it because I ran out of money. Doing activation costs was a fortune. And when I found this, what a difference it made to me. The chelation is very tired. I could hardly move. But when I started this, I felt life come back.
What's this?
It's called stem detox. I find it on oradix.com.
The reason the chelation was probably making you feel tired was pulling the toxins out.
A Herxheimer reaction.
Pulling it out of your tissues.
Yeah, but it was. Well,
I don't know if they know what
it's
Herxheimer
doing the
is.
same thing, but I don't feel that because it has glutathione in it, and all the antioxidants that you take in the morning and at night.
You don't feel it because it's not doing as much.
Yeah, that's-
You know,
We
when
do
you have,
have
in other words, at the beginning treatments with chelation for some people, when you start mobilizing all those toxic heavy metals, that's why the dosage is so important to give you the right dosage for your height, your weight, your kidney function, so you don't overdo it. But some people do feel the effect of mobilizing those toxins, and then you excrete it in urine. But, you know, that's why.
One
I
of,
thought I was dying.
one
Yeah.
of the things that happened to me during a chelation session, and it only happened once, was a few hours later, I called Dr. Slavin and said, I feel like I've been hit by a truck. Everything hurts. And so we talked about certain things to consume, water and so on. And I have a steam room in my bathroom. And I got in the steam room, 15 minutes in the steam room, and I had, you know, poured perspiration out, and it was over. So it was a very frightening experience, so I know what you must have been
I
going
was
through.
sleeping all day. And my boyfriend said to me, I don't blame you. You're not yourself. You're constantly sleeping.
Okay, but you've heard of a Herxheimer reaction?
Yes.
Okay, so that's how I would
It lasted
categorize
6
it.
months.
Well, unless you were doing something to overcome it, very specifically move that chelated debris out of your body.
Okay, so what I'm doing now, the whole treatment comes with the charcoal. And
Okay.
you take that along with everything.
Okay.
And you use a suppository at night to chelate, not every night, every other night, to chelate the heavy metal. I've been feeling much better since I've been doing this.
Okay, so the charcoal is absorbing a lot of that metabolic debris.
Yes.
However, using a suppository comes with some issues that you might not necessarily get all of that chelated debris out of your body, so that you may have some residue in your colon, so it's really important to make sure that you're doing colon detox, colon cleansing.
What kind of suppositories?
Well, it has coconut, it's made with coconut oil, it has glutathione in it, and it has EDTA, both,
Okay, so the problem with the EDTA suppositories, it's going to bind with your minerals in your colon in one location, like copper and zinc, and those are specifically necessary to make superoxide dismutase, which is a very powerful antioxidant. So now you're taking away the body's ability to make that. So there's been some discussion about the safety of the long-term use of EDTA suppositories for that reason.
well,
So
I don't
it-
intend to use it for a long time,
Yeah,
he said
okay,
3 months, so.
It's very interesting because, there are two areas of research study, with regard to the EDTA suppositories and then that intravenous introduction of the EDTA. But again, having to test your kidney function and blood tests important
Well,
to.
Here's how it came about. I mean, all the studies with chelation and EDTA were done at intravenous EDTA. So then the pharmacist said, oh, what if we make a EDTA suppository, we could sell it directly to the public. Just like they said, instead of doing blood tests to measure hormone levels, we'll do saliva testing so we can go, sell it directly to the public, and you don't need a physician or anything to do it. So, that's how it came about.
Well, this particular detox, I am talking to a doctor who has a PhD, and I talk to him quite often about this detox, and he told me of all the detox that he has tried, this one is the one that works.
Okay.
So I'm going, and it's not too expensive for me. So I've been feeling good since I've been using it. I don't feel like I'm dying anymore.
Good.
Well, different approaches for different folks, yeah. So,